Article reads, are we sick of Sandra Bullock's onstage girl-on-girl action yet? Wild, wild thing to say, by the way, because I'm never going to be sick of it. Welcome back, everyone, to Gasp the podcast for the gays, the girls, and especially the gay girls. I just realized that I didn't do the on the last episode with Jordan, and I just must have forgotten after my month break, but don't worry, I didn't forget. And we're back in my home studio. I'm in New York right now. It just feels nice to be back on the set and have a mic. I think you guys probably heard my story already from when I told it on the episode with Jordan, but all of my things were stolen on the Amtrak train, including my podcast equipment. So I'm slowly getting my things back and slowly rebuilding what I had before. This is season 2, and I thought it'd be fun to do a part 2 of the episode that I made last season with my friend Maddie, who just knows so much about Hollywood lore. She works in Hollywood and she just knows the lore, okay? And she told me so much about Tom Cruise bi rumors. I mean, he's probably bi. And we talked about Bradley Cooper. The episode was called Secret Gay Men of Hollywood. Go stream that podcast after this. But it's very good. And I was like, we need to make an episode for secretly gay women of Hollywood. So that's what we're doing right now. I want to say hi and welcome to any new listeners that are joining, and hopefully this audio is better. I got a few comments on my last one saying, Hailey's audio is muffled. I hated it too. I'm so sorry. That is not normal. Thank you for your patience and sticking with it. The audio should even improve from what it is right now because I don't actually have a mic stand. My shit was stolen. But anyways, thank you for your patience and welcome new listeners. Thank you for joining. What's very fun about this podcast is that I deep dive into very specific issues, and then sometimes we have guests. So it's not so much like other WLW podcasts out there that are kind of just interviewing other sapphic internet personalities about their life. I like to get into topics. I think it's fun. And I think that's also probably stemming from my liberal arts degree in gender studies. So this is just me kind of reliving my college. I also learn so much when I'm researching for this, and it's very fun for me. And there's a lot of things from this episode that I'm excited to talk about because I learned it when I was researching. So I'm very excited for this episode. But before we do that, I just want to do some housekeeping stuff. If you didn't hear on the last episode, this podcast requires a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money to put on, especially when my stuff gets stolen. If you are able to financially support and you listen to this podcast, please consider joining my Patreon. It's only $5 a month. You can cancel anytime. And the benefit of the Patreon is that I'm going to release these episodes 24 hours early for the people that join, the paid members. And I will shout out a Patreon member every single week. And I'm going to give bonus content and all of that kind of stuff. Consider joining the Patreon or consider buying merch and just check it out. It's honestly fun. I had so much fun designing it, and I think I'm going to keep adding stuff. I have shirts. I have a really cute cowgirl like me crew neck on there. It's super cute. And I made a mug, I made a phone case. It's all very cute. So go check that out. And that would make me really happy. And that means that we can increase the quality of this podcast. And it means that I can just spend more time and energy on this podcast and make it all what we want it to be. So speaking of shouting out Patreon members, thank you to Alicia for joining as a paid member yesterday. So be like Alicia and you get to be shouted out. Love you, Alicia. Just January has been crazy and horrible. The inauguration, my shit got stolen. This seems very minor, but I'm locked out of my Instagram. And the problem with that is that if TikTok gets shut down, I need to be able to access that so I can continue connecting with people and I have a backup for my content. And what's so frustrating about my Instagram issue, and don't worry, I'll get through this very quickly and we can get on with the topic, but is that I have access to my phone I have access to my emails. Like, I have access to everything. I shouldn't be logged out. It's just because of two-factor authentication. And I like don't have my stupid little backup code. And what's so frustrating is like it's all bots responding to me, and if I just get access to a real employee, they could easily let me back in. And I'm just so stressed out about it. It shouldn't be a big deal, but it really is. So if anyone out there works for Meta or knows anyone that works for Meta or Instagram or Facebook, it would be such an easy fix, and I would literally, quite literally, pay you money, and I will shout you out, and you'll become like my angel and my savior if you could help me get back into my Instagram. But yeah, besides that, I'm in New York. It's super loud here. There's so many background noises. I'm getting so overstimulated. I love New York, but in the winter, it is just not it. So if you're feeling like you have seasonal depression right now, you're not alone. And on top of that, last night was the plane crash at DCA, and I'm from DCA, and sorry, not DCA, I'm from DC, and Reagan Airport, I've flown out of there so many times I can't even count. It's like 20 minutes from my house, and it just like really shook me, and I already have a fear of flying, so like it just really shook me. And I'm sure everyone else is feeling this way. Like, I can't even imagine being like anyone that was on that plane. And I just feel like our entire American system needs to step it up. And I hate the president, and just like everything feels horrible right now. So if you feel that way, like, you're not alone. Anyone that has a brain or like any ounce of empathy feels the same way as you. So you're not alone. And I'm also going to link like crisis tech support in wherever you're watching this. So if you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify and Apple, it'll be like in the notes, just because it's a really dark time right now. So feel free to like just text that number if you just need someone to talk to. But we're going to get through it together. We are literally all going through it together, at least if you're in America. And if you're not in America, I'm so jealous of you. So last week was so fun with Jordan. I like love how much you guys are loving the episode. And I'm also going to have other gaylers on this show as well. So keep a lookout for that. And yeah, let's get into this topic. Okay, so this, as I said already, is part 2 of my episode from my first season, which is Secret Gay Men of Hollywood. And so I'm going to focus on celebrities that have been in the public eye for decades. And these are going to be, obviously we don't have time to like get into all secret gay women of Hollywood. There's so many. There's also a lot of newly out gay women of Hollywood. So I try not to focus on like millennials or Gen Z, because we're more likely to be out. And I think it's very interesting to talk about celebrities that kind of like grew up in Hollywood in like the 90s, right? When like Hollywood was a lot more conservative and this was a lot more taboo, because they're more likely to be secret about it, or have been told to be secret about it, or they have lavender marriages and stuff like that, which I think is very, very interesting, right? And again, this like age of Hollywood has of course continued, but in a good way. We've seen it change a little bit, and people are way more likely to be like successful and gay, which is great. Hopefully that continues. Let's first start with Sandra Bullock. Sandra was one of the reasons that I like decided to do this episode, because she's just fascinating to me. And she just like has that look on her face, you know what I mean? Like, she just has that gay, sporty look. Like, her level of gay kind of gives me like Shannon Beveridge, right? Like, not fully masked, but like sporty, like chapstick gay, right? That's what Sandra Bullock gives to me. So like, even besides all the like evidence, she just gives gay to me. I'm gonna pull up some receipts. I feel like the Sandra Bullock lesbian rumors kind of started around, okay, not started, but like got to the forefront of our like public consciousness, especially Taylor Swift fans, around the time of Taylor Swift's birthday last year. Because if you remember, she went out with a lot of her gal pals, and it was very interesting to me because Travis was not there, and it was her birthday, and he could have easily been there. Like, who cares if he has practice? He can fly to her birthday in New York, but whatever. So anyways, Taylor Swift went out to, I think she went out to the Box, which is like a very I just put that together, the Box. That's fucking hilarious. But she went out to the Box, which is like a very well-known club in New York that's very much known for like risque things going on. Like I think Harry Styles has been there a lot. Like there's always like strippers and stuff like that. And she went out with like her girls and gays, but also there were some straight men there too. Again, Travis Kelce could have been there. So anyways, she had a great time. She was looking so hot. She was wearing like a black mini dress. And I don't even know how this rumor started, but someone was like, she went to Sandra Bullock's lesbian bar. And Sandra Bullock, this rumor started that she had this. And again, some people are like, oh, that was completely busted. I do think it was busted that the main bar that Taylor Swift went to is Sandra Bullock's lesbian bar, but it's not impossible that Sandra Bullock has a lesbian bar. So that's not completely out of the question. I think Taylor Swift didn't go there on her birthday just based on like all the paparazzi pictures of her at the box. Perhaps she could have gone to wherever Sandra Bullock's famed lesbian bar was, but that's kind of where the rumor was like, okay, this isn't true. However, that's not the only rumor that there is about Sandra Bullock having a lesbian bar. Apparently, she also has a celebrities only lesbian bar in Texas. Is it the craziest thing that Sandra Bullock would have a lesbian bar for celebrities only? Like, no, she looks like one, and it's pretty easy to have a celebrities only situation, right? It also might not even be a lesbian bar. Maybe it's just her house, right? Who knows? The point is, this kind of put us all onto a frenzy, put me onto a frenzy. And I was like, holy shit, why didn't I ever put together that Sandra Bullock could be a fucking lesbian? So I'm going to read you guys the blind item about her lesbian bar. This is from Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. So it says, this former A-list, in parentheses, like Sandra Bullock, which like it's pretty easy to find out what blind items are about, right? Sandra Bullock, or who it's about. This former A-list, mostly movie actress who is an Oscar winner / nominee, has a nightclub / bar / venue on an adjacent lot to her home that she uses as a members only lesbian bar. That is a blind item on Crazy Days and Nights. Listen, sounds believable to me. All the comments are saying this is Sandra Bullock, this is Sandra Bullock. So listen, if it's Sandra Bullock, it sounds like this person is referring to Sandra Bullock. If it's true or not, we don't know. It's up to you guys to decide. But after doing some research, it sounds like Sandra Bullock has been doing some lesbian shit over the last few decades. I totally forgot this of like the age of Hollywood of like the 2010s, right? But Sandra Bullock kissed Meryl Streep on the mouth on stage. But yeah, so the article is from People. Meryl Streep, Sandra Bullock seal tie for Best Actress with a kiss at the Critics' Choice Awards on Friday night in 2010, January 16th, 2010. This article came out. And it's like, is it that funny, or do you just want to kiss a girl in the mouth? Like, I don't necessarily think that they're together or whatever, but like, why are they kissing each other? Just like, why? Like, this was such a 2010s moment where it's like, oh my God, two people are kissing, ha ha ha, that are like the same sex, whatever. And Bullock said about the kiss, she said, this is an honor. So it says from the People article, quote, later in Bullock's acceptance speech, she referred to similar parallels between her and her co-winner, saying that she loves food and sex like Meryl. Girl, what? That's how similar we are. You guys just didn't notice it until now. Hello? Like, that feels like being like, we're literally gay and you guys aren't noticing. Bullock ended her speech by admitting, quote, Meryl is a good kisser. She also has had long-term relationships. I do think her last partner, I don't know if they were actually married, passed away from, I don't want to actually spread rumors. I think it was cancer, but I don't know. She could be bisexual. She could also be in a lavender marriage. Who fucking knows? But I do think it's interesting, or she could have been in a lavender marriage. I do think it's interesting that a lot of these celebrities that are rumored to be gay have these partners that are almost like hidden behind closed doors and just don't even like bring to social events. Like, there's two types of lavender marriages, like a Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, very public PR situation, or someone that they can just like refer to as their husband, but then like they don't even operate like with them. One example, Oprah. Name Oprah's husband. You literally can't. Okay? Because she like keeps him in her house and doesn't let him, or not even in her house, somewhere else, because there's no way she's fucking with that guy, right? So like that's another suspicious thing about Sandra Bullock. I'm sorry, just like look at her face. She just looks so gay, you guys. Okay, so then this is from Now Toronto. The article reads, Sandra Bullock locks lips again. She kisses Scarlett Johansson on stage on the lips at another award show. Girl, you can do this in your own bedroom. Like, what? Oh my God. Okay, so quote, the article reads, are we sick of Sandra Bullock's onstage girl-on-girl action yet? Wild thing to say, by the way, because I'm never going to be sick of it. This was like joking at her other kiss with Meryl Streep, but at this point, it's just kind of like her personality, like kiss girls on stage. Apparently what happened, and it like obviously was scripted, Scarlett Johansson, or she said to Scarlett Johansson, what are you still doing here? And Johansson made a comment on something of a like, you're hot. And then they kissed. 2 on stage kisses. Girl. There's also a time that like Emma Thompson and Sandra Bullock were like trying to like out-gay each other, and like this kind of happens with a lot of these celebrities. They'll like make these little, and this happens later on with Alicia Keys, but like they'll make these little comments about another celebrity like in an interview, and then they'll say it again later, and it's like almost like they're flirting through interviews. So the headline reads, and this is from IMDb, so there you go. Sandra Bullock would go gay for Emma Thompson, according to Emma Thompson. Quote, which hot Hollywood actress would Emma Thompson want to play opposite her in a lesbian love interest movie role? Like, you can do this in your own bedroom. You don't have to play this role. Quote, after full-on snogging Meryl Streep, where do you go from there? The Saving Mr. Banks star jokes to the latest issue of The Advocate. Quote, we practically had sex, for God's sake. Ha ha ha. There's so many beautiful women, Thompson continued. Well, I met Sandy Bullock at an awards thing a couple years ago, and she said to me, quote, if I were gay, you'd be the one. Emma Thompson says, I'm there. Girls, ladies, women, first of all, wild as fuck. That's literally shit that I said before I came out. I was like, I wish I was gay so that like we could kiss. You guys are so fucking gay. This was in 2014, by the way. That kind of sums up my Sandra Bullock. There's definitely more on Sandra Bullock. Those are like the headlines that I thought were fucking crazy. But we have to move on because there's a lot of secretly gay women of Hollywood we need to cover. Okay, next, Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys is someone that I didn't even really know there was lore behind. I mean, I guess like I just don't really think much about her, but if I like saw her in the face on the street, I would be like bisexual, like, of course. Some of these celebrities you almost think are just like out, and then you like read into it and you're like, holy shit, they're not out. Like, so it's like they're almost barely secretly gay if they just look so fucking gay and act so gay, right? So Alicia Keys' lore is pretty funny to me. Alicia Keys has had like lesbian rumors for her like pretty much entire career, and she has not responded well to it, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's like hindered her own ability to figure out if she's queer. So perhaps she's just has like a lot of internalized homophobia, but like people thought she was gay in like the early 2000s. So that's a time when even if you are gay, you're gonna push that shit down, right? Because you're legally not allowed to be. And you definitely can't be in Hollywood in the 2000s. You cannot be out as bisexual or lesbian. So I wouldn't be surprised if that like made her hide her sexuality. A lot of times this happens in Hollywood, in like the industry, right? Like something happens and you're like, okay, I'm just going to avoid being seen as gay. It's giving Taylor Swift. When homophobes think you're gay, they're not saying it in a nice way. That rhymed. So I wouldn't be surprised if that pushed her like back into the closet. Okay, this is an article from 2022. It reads, Alicia Keys, and this is also from Gay, which is funny. It's spelled Gaye. Never heard of this site, but this is true. Alicia Keys finally responds to Janet Jackson, admitting she would have a lesbian fling with her. Does this sound familiar, you guys? This is so similar to like every celebrity. It's like their only way to like flirt with other like same-sex celebrities, or like in these like gay ways is to like say it through an interview. Like they could just on their own. But like this is also just very sapphic to like say it almost as like a joke until you do it. It's like, oh my god, what if we were gay? What if we were gay? I would totally have a lesbian fling. It's like, oh my god, thanks girl. And then they like eat each other's box. Apparently, Janet Jackson has a crush on Alicia Keys. In 2008, the singer admitted that she would choose Alicia Keys if given the chance to have a lesbian relationship. This is so similar to Sandra Bullock and Emma Thompson. Quote, I think I would pick Alicia Keys. I think she's wonderful, said Jackson. 14 years later, so out of fucking nowhere, Alicia Keys, why did you bring this up? It's been 14 years. And now it's almost like you're trying to be like, wait, I'm single, like I need to hook up with someone. Or maybe you're just trying to like tell people you're gay. I don't know what the point of this was, or why she brought it up 14 years later, but she responds to the article, again, on Instagram. When it was initially said, people didn't even have Instagram back then. Like that's how long it's been since Janet Jackson initially said it. Quote from Alicia Keys, I always knew I was bae, but when Janet Jackson says it. And then Alicia Keys says, I kind of did feel some kind of way, crown, crown, crown. Like, gay as fuck. I don't even care if you think you're straight. Like, that's so sapphic to me. Alicia Keys wrote a song called Where Do We Begin Now? I never knew this lore. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this lore. This is very much giving like Taylor Swift writes like the gayest song ever, but this is literally beyond even the gayest Taylor Swift lyrics. It's almost so clear. It's laughable. This is from iHeart Radio from 2016. Did Alicia Keys come out as bisexual in new song? That's how clear it was, okay? Even after Taylor Swift uses like she, her pronouns, iHeartRadio is not even saying that. That's how gay this fucking song is. Then the article goes, Alicia Keys did not come out as bisexual despite a new report. So here's the song. I'm going to read the lyrics. It's called Where Do We Begin Now? November 4th, 2016 is when this was first posted on Genius. She also made it with Swizz Beatz. She made this song with her husband, which probably was the reason why everyone was like, oh, it can't be gay because she has a husband. Well, let's read it together then. Like what? In this article, it says, Alicia questions what will happen in her life if she tells the world that she's in a relationship with a woman. This is on Genius lyrics. That's how clear it was. But then we can't say she's bi from that. Like what? Okay, here's the first verse. The first verse and the first line. What they gonna do 'cause we the same sex. And we spending all this time, this could be the love we ain't made yet. Even though it's on my mind, we ain't even had the conversation, but do you want to testify? How many know this song? How many times it goes wrong, goes wrong? Where do we begin now? What we tell our friends now? Then I had a dream of you last night. Then it kind of blew my mind. All I really know is that it feels right and I gotta live my life. We ain't even had the conversation. Let me be the first to testify. Yeah. This could be the love we ain't made yet. What they gonna do 'cause we the same sex? I don't care what she says. That girl is gay. Like you, even if this didn't even turn into a same-sex relationship, you want it to be. Like you just said you did. I'm so confused. Like how? Okay, so then after that, I hope you guys are all as shocked as I am because that's fucking crazy. iHeartRadio did an article on this song that says, did Alicia Keys just come out as bisexual in new song? Right? Which is fair because it sounds like it. She's talking about a same-sex relationship. Then it says later in the article, quote, Alicia Keys did not come out as bisexual in a new song despite new report. Gossip Cop can exclusively debunk this claim. We're told it's incorrect. According to Media Takeout, for years, there have been rumors that Alicia Keys was bisexual. She is currently in a monogamous relationship with husband Swizz Beatz, but before they got married, people were speculating that Alicia was gay. In her new song, Where Do We Begin Now?, Alicia just re-sparked all the rumors. She appears to be coming out as bisexual in the song. Then, iHeartRadio is saying that the website, other than that, has no proof that Alicia Keys came out. And apparently, a source close to Keys, quote, quote, it's giving Taylor Swift, And like a source close to her telling CNN, right, tells Gossip Cop it's not autobiographical. That's giving folklore. And explains that the singer is simply referencing friends of hers who have shared their stories with her. Okay, totally. Sure. That's fucking crazy though. Like, you spend your entire career saying that you hate all these gay rumors, and then you write a song saying we're the same sex and I had a dream about you. Okay, good try. Like, I feel like she wanted to write the song, and then to cover her ass, her management or her PR team or whatever was like, nope, she's not bisexual, blah, 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 blah. So she was rumored to be with Young M.A., who's a rapper. She's like a masc lesbian rapper. Wouldn't be the craziest fucking thing. It went viral. I mean, they look like a beautiful couple together. And again, she could be bisexual. She could be with Swizz Beatz or whatever and be writing a song about her past relationship with this rapper. Or maybe they're open, or maybe they're in a lavender marriage, okay? All of these possibilities are possible, but like, I just don't believe that it was written about a friend of yours. Got real. She denied the rumors in 2003 and then denied them again in 2015. But like, what's so funny is that like her writing this song with Swizz Beatz is so giving Taylor Swift writing Champagne Problems, which is one of her gayest, most heartbreaking songs with Joe Alwyn. And like, it's just so annoying that the media sees these things and being like, oh no, she didn't come out. That's a coming out in my book. She is publicly writing a song about a same-sex relationship. Maybe this is her attempt of coming out, and you, the media, are fucking ruining this shit by like being so worried about causing someone harm by saying they're gay. Like, if she's straight and she wrote that song, she should have been okay with someone calling her gay because it's a gay ass fucking song. It's just funny. It just is literally like Joe Alwyn and Taylor Swift like writing these songs, like whether it's like a lavender marriage or lavender relationship, PR relationship, or they were like bi for bi, like, and they're writing this heartbreaking song. It doesn't make it impossible that like it's a queer song just because she's in a monogamous relationship with a man. It's such a weird take for like iHeartRadio to write. This is Alicia Keys confronting her lesbian rumors in 2003. Quote, she does deny being a lesbian. Quote, I absolutely am not, she says. Though she says she does not deny being a strong-minded woman, not demure and aggressive, which may make some people nervous. Okay, so that is so unhelpful. Like, that was 2003. Also, what do you mean aggressive? Aggressive does not mean you're a lesbian. Like, what? Crazy. That's so 2003. Then in 2015, she denied the rumor again. Let's see what she says. This is from August 12th, 2015. Quote, FYI, Alicia Keys wants you to know that she wasn't gay back in the day. It's giving like no one asked. And her just being like, by the way, I wasn't gay. Like, again, this is like such the process of like finding out you are gay yourself is like almost talking about it so much. Quote, in case you've been sitting around for the last 15 years or so trying to figure out why Alicia Keys seemed so hard back in the 90s, she's cleared it up, which is such tea for this article to write because it's like so obvious that like no one asked until the song, obviously. She wants you to know that she wasn't gay. She was simply hiding her curves and femininity so she wouldn't gain unwanted attention from men. It's giving Billie Eilish, and then she came out too. Quote, I had the baggy, braided, tough New York tomboy thing mastered. That was who I was, or who I chose to be, and I felt good there. Then, because of the way I spoke or carried myself, people started calling me gay and hard, and I wasn't gay, but I was hard. And although I felt comfortable there, it made me uncomfortable that people were judging me. Which is an interesting thing to say, because I don't think that's judging to say you're gay. But maybe in 2003... she saw that as a negative thing. And perhaps people were saying it in a very negative way, which I don't doubt. But that's all of her lore. She's still with Swizz Beatz. Yeah, they're still married. And she's still gay. Let's talk about a major one that in the last few years has been known as like Queenie of all lesbians, Cate Blanchett. I want to uplift any of y'all's opinions. If you think Cate Blanchett is queer baiting, I stand by you. If you think she's mommy, I stand by you. Because I could see both arguments, and I could totally see her being like a straight queer baiter, and I could also totally see her being like a lesbian that wants to come out, or like is out to everyone, but like isn't with Hollywood. The reason why I call these episodes secretly gay instead of like closeted is because I don't necessarily think that a lot of these things are these celebrities' choice. And perhaps if they were just like living a normal life, they could be out. They might be out to like everyone, and maybe their management won't let them, or like maybe they're worried about getting other roles and stuff like that. And I think it'd be very helpful for the culture, for like moving our community forward. If they're queer, but a lot of them might just keep it on the down low, right? So maybe they're not even denying it anymore, but they're just like not talking about it, and they feel like they can rationalize that. You know, like these celebrities have been in the public eye for the last 30 years. I just watched Miss Americana last night, and it reminded me of like how much celebrities like need validation from the public and being worried about like being judged for something. So like maybe they're like, listen, I'm gonna write this song about a same-sex relationship, Alicia Keys, or I'm gonna flirt like like I want to kiss a girl on stage, and it like gets written off as a joke, but like I'm not denying really being gay. Like they're like kind of rationalizing in their brain. That's what I think is happening. And that's why I think is also happening with like Tom Cruise and like these other male celebrities, where like they're not fully covering it up, and like maybe the only reason they're covering it up to the extent that they are is because of the industry that they're in, and not because of like them as people. So that's why I think it's very interesting. Like that's why Hollywood is so interesting. What is the person versus what is their persona, and like what is the controlled image of them? Because they don't have full control over their life. Like look at Tom Cruise and Scientology, right? So that's why I wanted to be clear to not say closeted, because they may not be closeted. They might just like, again, not be talking about it in interviews, or like might be like dancing around the question. That's why I think it's so fascinating. Okay, back to Cate Blanchett. So some people accuse her of queer baiting, which I think is fair. And again, all these lesbian rumors kind of really started when she was in Carol, which is one of the best movies of all time. If you haven't watched Carol, go watch it. I think it'll be good for everyone's mental health right now. Like it's just a great period piece, a lesbian period piece, and I just think is really well done. But anyways, obviously it stems from that, and just from her being like mommy. And there's just this certain crop of famous women celebrities that like put on a pantsuit, and just over the age of 50, they just start getting so gay. And even if they weren't gay before, maybe they're like finding out that they are now. Wouldn't be surprising. Sexuality can change, and compet is so strong, and our obsession, especially women, with people liking us can really, really push down queer thoughts for so long. And that's why I do think we should give some celebrities grace. And because it's a complicated journey. Maybe Cate Blanchett in the last 5 years is like, maybe I am a fucking lesbian. Who knows? So there's this article that I did think was funny, and this kind of goes to people who think she's queer baiting. She apparently said she's trying to, quote, learn the language of lesbians. I can see how that could be frustrating because obviously we don't have a language, but also we kind of do. Queer coding. So she told Vanity Fair, quote, I don't think about my gender or my sexuality when asked about the experience of playing a queer woman. For me in school, it was David Bowie. It was Annie Lennox. There's always been that sort of gender fluidity. Some people take that to be problematic and be like, oh, I have a right to play a lesbian because like I like the arts in high school. I don't know. I think that kind of makes sense. Like maybe she just wasn't focused on her sexuality because she's pansexual and she's fluid. Like who knows? There was this whole like confirming she was in a relationship with a woman gate, where this is what I was kind of talking about, where like celebrities will try to like avoid the question of sexuality in a way that I think is to like make them feel like they're not being a bad gay, but they're also not outing themselves at the same time. Cate Blanchett says, quote, "I've never had a sexual relationship with a woman. However, this came after she said she's had many relationships with women." So it's very confusing. And I think that until she had to clarify it, then she was like, fuck, like I'm trapped and I have to like say that I've never had a sexual relationship with a woman. Whether she didn't want to say that because it's not true, or she didn't want to say it because she didn't want to like admit that she was queer baiting. At a press conference for the film Carol, Cate Blanchett was asked about an interview she gave last week to Variety. And this is in 2015. A lot of shit happening for the gays in 2015. She appeared to come out as bisexual, saying that she had, quote, "many past relationships with women." She is married to a man with 4 children, but again, we've known that that doesn't mean shit anymore in Hollywood. So the conversation ran, "Have you had relationships with women?" She said, "Yes, many times." Then she said, "Do you mean, have I had sexual relationships with women?" Then she says, "Then the answer is no." The crowd laughed. Blanchett continued, "But in 2015, the point should be, who cares? Call me old-fashioned, but I thought one's job as an actor was not to present one's boring, small, microscopic universe, but to make a psychological connection to another person's experience, blah, 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 blah." I totally agree. And listen, that doesn't even necessarily mean that she's straight, guys. It just means that she said that she hasn't had a sexual relationship with another woman. And also she could have been lying for the sake of her own career. I gotta be honest, that's not impossible. But what if she had like a crush on some girl? What if she's bi and just never had the opportunity to have a sexual relationship with a woman? Doesn't mean you're not queer. That's the whole coming out gate for Cate Blanchett. And her kind of like not answering the question right away is so tea, to be like, yes, I've had relationships with women, and run with that. I think that's crazy and could also be queer baiting. And I know some people say, oh, a person can't queer bait, but like if they're attached to a project, I argue they could. But again, I don't see the problem with that with Cate Blanchett. I don't see the problem with her pushing out queer rumors about herself, because I think if anything, it's only like good for culture to see like a powerful, successful woman be queer. Yeah, I just think it's tea though that she was like, yep, I've had relationships with women, but not sexual ones. I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, what? It's giving gay though. It's still giving gay. And a lot of people say like, if she was lying, isn't that fucked up? Like, if she was lying to cover up her sexuality. And I think we also need to remember, like, no, queer people lie all the time. Sometimes we panic and lie. It's not the craziest thing. It wouldn't be the first time that a gay person lied about their sexuality. Let's just say that. Okay. Also, do you guys remember when Cate Blanchett was on a live call with Sarah Paulson and she pretty much called herself a lesbian on Instagram Live with Sarah Paulson, which, by the way, they're giving like 2 lesbian besties. You guys have definitely seen this. But like, okay, so what happened is she blurts out in the beginning of the live, "Hey gays," and then Paulson adds like, "I love you, we love you," whatever. She like literally says, and again, she could be replying to like some comment on the live, but she literally goes like, "I'm a lesbian," and then Sarah Paulson's like, "What?" And then they're like, "What?" And it's like, oh God, her saying she's a lesbian on Instagram Live, I'm sorry, like, it's tea. And that was in 2020, 5 years after the whole coming out Carol drama, right? Who knows what her sexuality is? Yes, technically she has a husband. Who fucking knows though, right? She also has so many like lesbian friends that it's hard to know if she was saying that as like a joke. Again, I think she's queer in some way, and I'm just hoping she's not queer baiting. In Ocean's 8, have you guys seen Ocean's 8? It's an amazing movie about a bunch of women. Like Rihanna's in it, Sandra Bullock's in it, Cate Blanchett's in it, Sarah Paulson's in it, everyone's in it, and they like steal a bunch of jewels from the Met. It's iconic. But like in Ocean's 8, Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett are in it. They say they love each other, and they like almost insinuate they're in a relationship. It's very queer, and I was watching a few months ago and I was like, these two bitches are kind of living the same life where like they've done a lot of publicly gay shit, and then they like cover their asses and they do more gay shit and they're like, just kidding, I'm not gay. And it's like, what's that tracking for me? It's giving to me that they're both gay and they don't know, they want to slyly tell the public that without having to like come out officially. And oh my God. Giving Taylor Swift, giving secretly gay women, but also not that secret if like you're in their circles, but also like they're not gonna be like publicly identifying themselves for maybe a multitude of reasons, right? I wish they would. But what if they're like even together in real life? Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett. Wouldn't be surprised about that. Let's move on to, we have two more people to cover. Jessica Biel. This is a shorter one just because honestly, doing this research, I never considered that Jessica Biel might be queer until I just like was doing some research. And apparently she seems to have like a masc ex-girlfriend that she was kissing on the lips on a paparazzi photo. This is more solid evidence than like I kind of feel like we have for any other celebrity on this list, maybe besides Alicia Keys and then of course Drew Barrymore, which I'm going to get into. But like she's quite literally about to kiss her girlfriend. And then there's also a picture of this girl like holding and touching her like butt. This girl is masked, but also like looks like Jessica Biel. Like, in some pictures, I don't know if it's a different one or the same girl, but like she looks like the same girl. It's giving Taylor Swift and Carly Kloss, like dating your twin, but like they're kissing and they're spotted together a bunch of times. Like this woman is like holding her ass. Like it seems very clear that Jessica Biel dated a masked woman. I don't even know. Yeah. And of course, this is another situation where no one's asking Jessica Biel her sexuality. We don't know her sexuality. She could have clearly had like a girlfriend. There is also a theory about this that maybe Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake are like in a lavender marriage, and there's of course gay rumors for Justin Timberlake. Maybe they're bi for bi, maybe they're open, but Justin Timberlake has had some shit the last few years. He was like caught like cheating, I think with a woman. She like seems to be like having this girl over her, but she's also with Justin Timberlake. The whole thing is very confusing, and I think it's a reminder that like everyone in Hollywood is fucking gay, and this is like not uncommon. And it seems like if everyone in Hollywood came out, everyone in Hollywood would be gay, and then half of America wouldn't want to watch any movies because they would all be like gay people. That's kind of what it's seeming like to me, because like every single motherfucker is gay. Like I just like I was like, I have to stop listing people because all these people are gay. Our final secretly gay woman of Hollywood that I do think is less secret and is more very clear about it now is Drew Barrymore. I didn't know that she was queer until I fully did research into this. I thought it was just rumored, but she pretty much came out, and I don't really see a lot of media talking about that, and that really pisses me off, because Drew Barrymore shouldn't have to come out a million times for her to be recognized now as like a queer woman, but apparently she has to, and that's really annoying. But like this is going to be an honorable mention one because I guess it's not really a secret, but I literally didn't know until I found this quote. But I just remember a few days ago I saw a TikTok of her like acting very gay in all of her interviews, like very close up on the Drew Barrymore show with like her female guests like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, of course, and just like very much like close to them, as we all know. And of course we all see that and we're like, is this bitch sapphic? But assumed that like she wasn't out, or else, you know, we would have heard it, right? But alas, the media apparently doesn't assume that any of these are coming out unless Drew Barrymore writes a press release reminding everyone every month, which is annoying because she said it in very clear words. Quote, "I have always considered myself bisexual." And apparently that's not enough. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there's an article that was like, actually conflicting reports, Drew Barrymore is not bisexual. Like she did not come out. It's like she clearly is, and I love that it's just like low-key accepted, but I don't think it's low-key accepted because I feel like no one knows about this. I am gay for a living, and I didn't know that she had said that she was bisexual. So the media do better. I feel like the media is so scared to call anyone fucking gay, and it's pissing me off because it's not an accusation. Okay? It's a positive thing. The quote continues from Drew Barrymore. This is so funny. It's such a gay quote. A woman and a woman together are beautiful, just as a man and a woman together are beautiful. Being with a woman is like exploring your own body, real, but through someone else. When I was younger, I used to go with lots of women. Totally. I love it. She's so gay. As we know now, she's talked a lot more about how she doesn't like prioritize sex. This is a quote from The Advocate, and it refers to her as a bisexual actor, which is the only time I even saw a piece of media referring to her as bisexual. But maybe because she isn't like actively dating, people don't view her as bisexual. Regardless, it's problematic. And it seems like, she is out. She's out as bi. The media barely talks about it, and I feel like people don't know about it. Like, I didn't. And what's this all coming back to, guys? It's coming back to the media and the muzzling power of Hollywood. All these women seem very gay to me. Some of them more secret than others. Some of them more denying it than others. But I think at the end of the day, if you write a song about the same sex and saying you have a dream about them, you're gay. What do you guys think? I also could continue this because there are so many goddamn gay celebrities. There's a pattern here with specifically sapphic celebrities where they make some of these like little comments and then they deny them and they do something else kind of gay and then they deny those. And it's like straight people wouldn't be confusing about when they talk about their sexuality, right? Unless they're trying to lead us on. Possible that they're queer baiting. I just like to believe that people are gay, and I really do think that that's true, especially in Hollywood. Hollywood is so fucking gay, and I'm gonna do an episode soon on like the history of lavender marriages in Hollywood and how they paired people up, and the 1930s like Hollywood code when people really stopped like showing queer people on TV. And that's had a lot of influence on celebrities and how public they can be about their sexuality and how honest they are with the public. And it's really hard to distinguish between a public persona and someone's real life. Because again, like perhaps if you were in that circle, maybe people are walking around like, oh yeah, my lesbian friend like Cate Blanchett, right? And thinks it's very obvious. But of course, that's not public for the world to see. How much is being influenced by their management teams? How much is being influenced by them being in the public eye for 30 years. Maybe they've just resigned themselves to not being out in public, but being out with their friends and family. Who fucking knows? And which of these motherfuckers are going to release a memoir in 30 years like Evelyn Hugo and announce that they've been gay the entire time? I would bet all of these motherfuckers, okay? All of them. And if anyone has a way that I can get into Sandra Bullock's lesbian bar, please let me know. That'd be an honor of a lifetime. I'll sign every single NDA. Okay, guys, that's our episode for this week. As always, please let me know what you thought. If you have any recommendations for topic ideas that you guys want or guests or anything of that sort, let me know. You can let me know on my TikTok, on my Instagram, on Spotify comments. You can comment on YouTube. Don't be a stranger. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great week. Let's pray that February is a way better month than January. Love you guys. See you next week.